Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you guys who actually utilize my email, the afcmatters@gmail.com. And for those who understand that when I ask for you to send me these stories, they always send me the website links, which is very, very helpful. It's very easy for me to look this up and cross-reference between maybe 30 to 40 different websites, maybe sometimes more than that. But to be able to try to put together the most comprehensive story that gives us the most information, but more than anything, I want to give you guys what my thoughts are about this, which is really why most people are here, because you can hear the news from anywhere. But nonetheless, with this particular story, there was this beautiful little girl right here, and I'm going to tell you guys, this little girl was at the right place, maybe in the wrong city, around the wrong people, and it was probably people that shared her skin color. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to say something that ain't going to sit well with your sensibilities. I'm going to say some things that are probably going to put your panties in a bunch, okay? So if you can't handle that, then this might not be the stream for you. But for everybody else that has some thick skin, this story comes out of a place called, what is this, Delaware County? A police department has said that its officers issued a statement, actually, and said that its officers fired shots that killed an 8-year-old girl while responding to a shootout, a gun shootout, because of course you put a bunch of guns in one place and these guns are going to just start shooting at each other, right? Isn't that the way it works? The guns are the problem, not the people with the guns, not the thugs with the guns. It's the guns who are the problem. But these bunch of guns apparently just started shooting at each other at a suburban Philadelphia football game. Now, of course, y'all know that it's thugs with guns. That is one of my things that I say, because we have to start putting the responsibility on the people who have these weapons and these tools, because they're really just tools. They don't do anything until you pick them up and do something with them. The DA, Jack Stallmeister, said, today, on the 1-month anniversary of the tragic shooting in Sharon Hill borough that took the life of 8-year-old Fanta Bility. Like ability, just take the A off. Like Fanta Bility, that's her name. Unique name, by the way. But Fanta lost her life and 4 other people were wounded, and they met with the family, with the Bility family, to provide an update on the significant progress that their team of prosecutors and detectives had made into the events of that night. Their initial ballistics analysis, why can't I say analytics? Their ballistic analysis had concluded with near certainty that 4 of the 5 gunshot victims, including Fanta Bility, were tragically struck by shots fired by the Sharon Hill Police Department. First and foremost, everybody ought to understand that this 8-year-old girl was not the intended target. What we're going to do with this story is we're going to explain where the responsibility should lie, because most people are going to use this story and say that this is all the police's fault. If it hadn't been for the bad police, this little girl wouldn't be dead, and none of those other 4 people would have ended up the way that they did, right? That's the narrative that's going to be put out there. But I have a different take on it, so if you guys will bear with me, let me tell you a little bit more about this story. They said, we await final forensic reports, but they have concluded that the gunfire, combined with the movement of the vehicle, precipitated responsive gunfire from the Sharon Hill police officers. Stolsteimer. I cannot say this dude's name. That is a very weird name. Stolsteimer. I think I call him Stallmeister, whatever. The police said that his team was investigating the legality of the gunshots fired by the police, and that an independent attorney had been hired to conduct a review of the Sharon Hill Police Department's policies and procedures. The police who fired the shots have been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of that investigation. He said that a grand jury had also been impaneled to decide whether the incident merited criminal charges against the police, and added that no other information will be shared with until jurors have made their decision. So here's what happened. Here's what happened, because people are already in the chat saying the police need to be retrained. I have so many issues with this. First and foremost, let's talk about the root of the problem. Does anybody have an idea what the root of the problem is? If you don't, I'll explain. There was a football game that was going on. A lot of us have been to football games. I've played football, been to football games. Always a lot of people there, right? So with this particular football game, you got these high school students. You have a very impassioned football game that's going on. You got people on both sides, rivalry with each other, whatever. And with some of these schools, sometimes they have things that are going on outside of school that might be going on, and people decide to show up to these games. Gangs show up. All types of people show up to these games because they can't really vet who's able to come into these games or not. They might have metal detectors. Sometimes they don't. But more times than none, there's really not much you can do, okay? So the game happens. The game ends, from what I understand. Some people get into it, and it sounds like it was some black folks. I'm almost 99.999% sure that this was our people. They started fighting with each other. Then they started shooting at each other, which is the reason that police were called. The police were called to stop these people from shooting at each other and putting people in danger. So how do you stop a bad guy with a gun? I'd have to take this out of the page of relationship rehab. How do you stop a bad person with a gun? A good person with a gun has to stop them. In this case, the authoritative figure would be the police. The police came, the police assessed as best as they could. You got about 1,000 people out there running around, hectic and frantic. Things are going on, you can't tell who's who. And they try to eliminate the threats that are out there and haphazardly end up hitting an innocent bystander, which is this beautiful baby girl here. And most people will put this on the police and say that this is all their fault and all of that good stuff. But here's why I like to put the root cause of the problem. If black folks like us valued ourselves properly, then we wouldn't feel the need to be shooting at each other. We would see more value in each other. We wouldn't be fighting with each other. We would have a hell of a lot more harmony with each other. Not even to say that you can't have a verbal altercation. You really shouldn't be having physical altercations. I can understand maybe a fist fight, but that's not what they were doing. They were shooting at each other. And if you pull a weapon, you're intending to kill and kill anything that those bullets hit. And in most cases, our people don't have very good training when it comes to weaponry. Because when we shoot, we tend to shoot things that we don't tend to hit, right? So if you want to point the training at the police, then maybe they, I don't know, maybe have more target training, I guess. Because sometimes that happens, and sometimes whenever you shoot at a person, it could go through their body parts. You could be aiming for center mass. It could go through their body parts. It could go past their body parts at what you're aiming at. And those bullets don't have a name on them, and they're going to hit anything and everything. No, I don't blame the police in this situation. When we continue to keep doing bull crap, we call the police out there, and then we get mad at them for trying to stop the threat. How about this? Don't present the threat. How about that for a freaking solution? Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it in. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I definitely have my coon tap shoes on today, right? But nonetheless, man, if you guys are listening, please do me a favor. Click that thumbs up. Help share the stream. We need as many thumbs up as people that are watching. So if you can see that number, look down, please click that thumbs up. If you would, please. Thank you. Let's go ahead and start with our news videos. I'll show that one last.
Well, first of all, Jim, we did have the chance to talk to the family's attorney tonight. He says this case is most likely going to the grand jury because someone is not cooperating with the investigation. Meanwhile, one man came back to the scene tonight trying to keep her memory alive.
This could have been any one of our children.
One man on a mission for justice. Joe Wilson tells NBC 10 he promised Fanta Bility's family he would never give up the fight. On the 1-month anniversary of the 8-year-old's killing, he released balloons in her honor.
That's a baby. That's a baby. And it still hurts me. Whew.
What get you so emotional?
The pain that baby must have went through with a bullet hitting her in her neck. No.
This afternoon, the Delaware County DA announced he's handing the case over to a grand jury. 1 month ago, shots were fired outside of an Academy Park High School football game. Investigators say an argument between guys led to a shooting there. As officers responded, several fans were hit by gunfire, including little Fanta. The DA now says, quote, "Our initial ballistics analysis has concluded with near certainty that 4 of the 5 gunshot victims, including Fanta Bility, were tragically struck by shots fired by the Sharon Hill police officers. We await final forensic reports."
They need to know what the investigation turns up concerning why the police chose to fire at that particular car because it had 2 young women in it and no bad guys.
Bruce Castor now represents several of the victims, including the estate of Fanta. Castor says he just learned recently that police fired at a car with innocent people. He believes that barrage of bullets is what ultimately killed the little girl.
I think justice would be served if the DA were able to catch who set the chain of events in motion and charge them with some degree of homicide, because but for that activity, the police would not have, in this case, erroneously fired at the car and killed Fanta accidentally.
We, of course, reached out to some family members tonight. They simply told us no comment. Those 3 officers who fired those shots are now on administrative leave. For now, we're live in Sharon Hill. Aaron Baskerville, NBC 10 News.
All right, let's take a pause real quick. I got a couple more videos that I want to show you guys. If y'all would, I need y'all to do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. What we're looking at right now is we have, how many people are watching? 420 people watching. Not too bad, but we're at 227 thumbs up. Can we get 400 thumbs up, please? So I don't want to have to stop the video anymore. And yes, I wish they would do something more productive than release balloons, because I don't know if y'all noticed from that video that I just played, his balloons almost went directly into a tree and almost got caught at the top of that tree. It's a waste of money, a waste of resources, and it's just gonna turn to trash after a while. The balloons are not going to heaven, and little Fanta Bility is never gonna see those balloons. I don't know why we do that. I really don't. But we are stuck at 200 and something thumbs up, but we have more than enough people here to click that thumbs up. You're watching on a device. All I'm asking for the people to do is, if y'all would, I don't want to interrupt the video anymore, please click the thumbs up, if you would. What that helps do is it helps bring more people in that maybe don't know about this story, so more people can actually come in and come watch with us. So that's the reason why I always stress that. I know some people might not realize, but if you look at that, that number has not gone up at all. Can y'all please let me know when you click the thumbs up? Click it and then say, hey, I clicked the thumbs up. Can y'all do that for me, please? We should have about 400 thumbs up because our goal is 600. Can we do that, please? I'm only stopping it right now because we're live. Just a way of showing support. Thank you, Susie Q. Thank you. You know what? They're actually making it illegal in some states to release balloons, which I'm like, why do we have to make that a law? How about we just stop doing it? I saw the video of the balloon release in Cleveland in the 80s. It prevented 2 missing people from being found in the ocean. Thank you, Lanisha. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thank you, Punkylicious. Adrian, thank you. Julia, Sarah, Stacy, Shanna, thank you. Jennifer, click the thumbs up, thank you. Mona, okay, look at that. Everybody's clicking the thumbs up. Come on, please. Real quick. Real quick. You thought of me when you saw it. Thank you, Lanisha. They also had, what was the name of that story that came out? It was the Balloon Fest. What was Balloon Fest? Let me see if I can find it. It was, maybe I could search it here. Balloon Fest of 1986 in Cleveland, Ohio. Did you say Ohio? I think she did. Yep, Cleveland. You sure did. Thank you, Lanisha. You sure did. So Balloon Fest. If y'all have not seen Balloon Fest, please look it up. Thank you, Miss Nisi. Thank you, Girl Mom. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Melissa. Talik, thank you. We need 400, please. I know people get mad at me because they're just like, why won't you play the video? Well, the quicker people click the thumbs up, I could just play the video. I could just keep going and doing what I do. We're at 294. Can we get 6 more people? Yes, it was a world record. And it was a horrible world record to have. You are absolutely right, though. It was a world record in the Guinness Book of World Records. Because that's actually, that was what they were trying to do. They were trying to get a world record for the most balloons released. And they got it. Just wasn't a good thing. Balloons ended up in Canada. Yes, it did. It's a whole video about it. We need 6 more to reach 300. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Because we got a lot more story to talk about. Did everybody click the thumbs up? All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
The call for justice is growing louder for an 8-year-old girl. Fanta Bility was at a high school football game with her family in Delaware County when she was hit by a stray bullet and killed. Our Jeff Cole is following this story. So, Jeff, what does justice in this situation look like to them?
Well, the advocates for the family say that the Sharon Hill police officers who were involved in that shooting back on August 27th should be fired and should be fired immediately. They're also calling for a series of reforms, and they demanded today an apology from the borough of Sharon Hill. The mother of 8-year-old Fanta Bility said not a word to reporters gathered near the football field where her child died. Members of Delaware County's Black Caucus did speak, demanding the police officers involved in the child shooting be fired.
We believe that if indeed officers were involved in this tragic shooting of Fanta, they should be terminated.
Terminated now, says the group that gathered just yards from where the shots were fired in late August after a high school football game. According to the DA, who wants an investigating grand jury impaneled, young men involved in a dispute began firing guns along the 900 block of Coate Street as spectators were leaving the game. A vehicle pulls in front of 3 Sharon Hill police officers across the street who, apparently sensing danger, fire on the vehicle. Their bullets likely killing the child and wounding 3 others.
The bullets that go through and the bullets that miss keep going, and they hit people and killed Fanta. That's what I think happened.
High-profile lawyer Bruce Castor represents the child's family.
The district attorney's office is conducting their investigation.
So, if you could be respectful of the question, so there's a question, just answer the question.
The Black Caucus tried to limit his words Thursday as they called for better officer training, police body cameras on at all times, and an apology from Sharon Hill to the family.
What we want is respect. We want the respect of, we're sorry. We understand that you have lost a loved one.
They got...
And y'all wonder why it takes the police forever to come to a situation when you're calling 911 and begging them for help. Y'all are making it harder on everybody who truly needs the police to be there right then and right there when they call. Their tax dollars are not being fully put to its best use. Because why would the police rush down there to stop this situation when they could just kick back and wait for a good 10, 15 minutes, wait till all the shooting stops, then show up. Because that's what's about to start happening. I can already see it happening. I'm going to remind you guys, and I'm going to say this again. The more y'all continue to keep calling the police and then pointing the finger at the police, you're not going to get people to want to do the damn job. They're not going to do a good job doing the job. Then they're going to turn around and not even want to show up to the scene of a crime until after everything, after all the smoke clears. This is insane.
We understand that you have lost a loved one.
They got one today. The entire Borough family grieves for Fanta Bility's family and all those affected by the Academy Park High School football game shooting. They're not impressed.
The indication was unanimous among the family members I spoke with that it's too little, too late.
Too little, too late. That apology came from the lawyer for Sharon Hill Borough this day. Now, the Delaware County DA expects that he will arrest these young men who were involved in this dispute, who apparently were shooting their weapons, which may have started this whole event. He expects, he says, he'll be able to arrest them. But he also wants to impanel an investigating grand jury.
I want y'all to hear this again. Let's listen again.
It's too little, too late.
Too little, too
Listen at this part right here.
late. That apology came from the lawyer for Sharon Hill Borough this day. Now, the Delaware County DA expects that he will arrest these young men who were involved in this dispute, who apparently were shooting their weapons, which may have started this whole event.
They may arrest them. They have not arrested them. They have not identified the people who started this shit. But the police's jobs are already at risk? Do y'all catch that? Do y'all hear how insane that is? The people who caused this, who were fighting the degenerates that were shooting at each other, they have not been arrested. They have not been charged. Their faces have not been put out there. Nobody is calling for their jobs. Nobody's calling for those thug jobs to be fired. Damn. They are the reason that this 8-year-old girl is dead. Just like so many of these drive-by shootings that leave children dead, these shooting up parks, shooting up parties, shooting up all these different things, shooting down alleyways and all this type of crazy mess. But y'all haven't caught any of them. But you're going to fire the damn police that were trying to stop the bad thugs. Okay. Next video. Let's get it.
Well, tonight, a family in Delaware County is speaking out after their young daughter was killed during a drive-by shooting. The 7-year-old was shot while attending a high school football game with loved ones. Action News reporter Katie Catro spoke exclusively with the grieving family. She joins us live outside Sharon Hill Police Headquarters with much more. Katie.
And Walter, we have moved here to right outside of the high school. I want to show you a growing memorial here right outside of the field where you can see some flowers and stuffed animals laid down. We spoke with the girl's mother tonight and she is demanding justice.
My daughter was a nice person. She was so kind.
The mother of 7-year-old Fanta Bility is now planning for her daughter's funeral instead of her future. She took this picture of her daughter at the Friday night football game at Academy Park High School in Sharon Hill before the drive-by shooting that claimed her daughter's life.
By the time they was shooting, everybody was running.
She says her 12-year-old daughter was also shot but is expected to recover. The barrage of bullets heard over WBCB's radio just as the game against Pennsbury wrapped up.
It was Academy Park 42 and Pennsbury nothing.
And y'all hear this? Listen at the gunshots again. Listen at this again.
It is expected to recover. The barrage.
Y'all can hear that, right? These are thugs shooting at each other because one of the team, I'm assuming because they must have lost so bad. What they say, the score was like 42-0, and somebody had to get shot over that?
The barrage of bullets heard over WBCB's radio just as the game against Pennsbury wrapped up.
It was Academy Park 42 and Pennsbury nothing.
She just got caught in somebody's terrible act, and she became the victim.
Viewer video shows the moments after the shooting, including football players lying on the field as police vehicles with lights and sirens began arriving on the scene.
This kind of thing in the community is very scary. It's like nobody is safe nowhere, and we don't want to live in such conditions. If you take your kids on the school property, I think you expect them to be safe. And she was only 7 years old. She will be seriously missed.
Yeah, this has not only caused terrible heartache for the family, but also for the closely knit and small community here in Sharon Hill. Now, family says they have been in touch with the DA and they do know of at least 2 people in custody. Action News has also learned of some weapons recovered as well.
Learning we don't have any of their identities. We don't have any of their identities, none of their faces, though. Isn't that something?
Learning new details about a shooting that sent shockwaves through a Delaware County community. Tonight, we're hearing from the family of a little girl.
I guess for the people, like how many people in the chat? How many people in the chat right now, or if you're watching this on the replay, how many of you guys believe that the police should be fired? Because you're entitled to your opinion. We're not going to block or time you out. I just want to hear what you guys' real opinion is. You can post it in the comment section if you need to. How many of you guys believe that the police need to be fired? And I want y'all to think about this. You heard those shots. I don't know how many shots there was. It was a lot of it, and it sounded like it was back and forth fire at each other. What were the police supposed to go in there with? Some pepper spray? Some chaff grenades? Like, what did you expect the police to go in there and do? You expect them to go in there with their bulletproof vests covering their heads and hope that they don't get shot to death by walking in there? Hey, we gonna go in there with their batons? What the freak did y'all expect the police to do? Not people showed a gun. Not people are fighting. You can hear the shots. So you're not supposed to shoot at people who are shooting. Okay.
Girl who just days ago was shot outside of a high school football game. Here's Joe Holden.
New this Monday, prosecutors revealed part of their investigation into the fatal shooting.
And so I noticed a lot of y'all are saying that the police should not be fired. I know we had some people earlier who said that they should be, and it's okay. Y'all can voice your opinions. It's all right. The chat is open. None of my moderators, all my moderators already know, don't block anybody. Don't time out anybody. It's okay if you have a different opinion. But I'm just curious as to what you guys think. Should the police be fired? I say no. The reason why I say no is because they had to stop the threat. They don't know where the threat is coming from, but you are a shit ton of people shooting at each other.
Of 8-year-old Fanta Bility includes looking into the discharge of a police officer's weapon after initial shots were fired by an unknown number of people in the area of a crowded football game. Fanta, seen in this photo just hours before she was pronounced dead, was at the Academy Park High School home game with family.
She was a very happy little girl and very happy. Funny. Yeah, very happy, funny.
Tana Chroma says her daughter Fanta was very much looking forward to going back to school.
She was telling me what time we were going for my school shopping. I said next week we'll go for the school shopping. Yeah.
Meanwhile, an extensive search almost 72 hours into the fatal shooting where 2 other people were also hurt played out with federal agents joining detectives. Metal detectors and canine officers worked the residential blocks around the football stadium.
You even got the dogs out.
Neighbors say watching all of the activity and the events of Friday night are crystal clear.
It sort of sounded like firecrackers, but then after thinking about it, that doesn't sound like firecrackers. There was probably 5, 6, 7 sounded like gunshots, and then within 5-10 minutes, all hell broke loose. We had cops all over the place, helicopters in the air.
Delaware County prosecutors confirm nobody is in custody in connection to the deadly shooting. Sources close to the case do tell me every time a new piece of evidence is uncovered, it seems to largely alter the course of the investigation. Delaware County District Attorney's Office asking anyone with information to give them a call.
But again, no information on the thugs who caused this, but we have police officers that are currently unemployed, put on leave, whatever you want to call it.
Tragedy under the Friday night lights. A little girl is shot and killed at a high school football game in.
So they said 4 people got shot. One little girl, Fanta Bility, is the one that was shot that was fatal, that passed away. But I also heard that the mom said that her other daughter had been shot as well, but she was not fatal. She didn't suffer any fatal injuries from what I understand. So I don't know if she was a part of that 4 or what. I'm not 100% sure about that part.
Delaware County. And Jenny, you spoke to her heartbroken family.
Yeah, good evening, Don. And this family just still shocked by the senseless violence. We're talking about 2 sisters who were shot as they were leaving a high school football game. A 12-year-old, we are told, was treated and released from the hospital Friday night, but her sister, 8-year-old Fanta Bility, did not make it.
What happened Friday night is disgusting. It's despicable and it's disgusting the way y'all shot down that baby.
Gingy Nance of Collingdale fuming over the senseless shooting death of an 8-year-old girl at an Academy Park High School football game Friday night. Family members identify the victim as 8-year-old Fanta Bility. They shared these photos with us and tell us she was at the game with her mom and siblings, supporting her sister who was on the Academy Park cheerleading squad.
Fanta was a very sweet little girl. She loves everybody.
Fanta's family gathering to mourn the shocking and devastating loss.
I cried a lot, but then I can't be crying right now because everything I'm gonna do it for her. I'm gonna grind for her. That's my little sister, you know.
It could have been my baby.
Nance, the mom of an Academy Park football player, says she grabbed her 4-year-old son and ran when she heard gunshots ring out minutes after the game against Pennsbury High School ended. Nearly 48 hours later, she's back to pay her respects.
I had another balloon. As soon as I put it on, it was a unicorn, and it just flew away right away. And I was like, that must be the one she wanted.
Friday night, Nance says her son-in-law ran over to the little girl and tried to render aid. Unfortunately, the rescue efforts were unsuccessful.
It's just the most saddest thing to see, the most disheartening thing to see. You gotta be just disgusting to know that there's children all around here, and you just open fire like that.
And police dispatch initially told us on Friday that 3 people were taken into custody. We have several calls into the Delaware County District Attorney's Office. We are waiting to hear back as to whether or not any charges have been filed. Back to you.
Happened to Fanta. An independent investigation is now underway after the 8-year-old was shot and killed after a high school football game. The community wants some answers. Our Brad Satin reports.
With a 6-0, the appointment passed.
In a unanimous vote, Sharon Hill Borough Council appointed former Philadelphia District Attorney Kelly Hodge to investigate borough police policies and procedures the night 8-year-old Fanta Bility was shot and killed and 4 others were injured, struck in a barrage of gunfire after a high school football game last month. The Delaware County DA saying there's a high probability the shots came from police.
We will take the time that is necessary in order to go ahead and evaluate all of the factual information.
Accountability is what the small crowd at the meeting is demanding.
The police who are there to protect us are the ones who hit this little girl. What training do you take that treats as a cop to shoot into a crowd of people?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is where I start to have a problem with my people. Let's think about this for a minute. He's saying, what type of scenario would the police be trained to shoot into a crowd of people? Let's think about this for a minute. Let's answer his question. As quick as you are to ask the question, why would they be in a position to where they would shoot into a crowd of people? You'd have to ask yourself, what type of people would cause this type of carnage with children there in the first fucking place? Yes? Is that okay to ask that? You would have to ask, what type of people would cause this type of thing to begin from the jump? They were already shooting around kids. So the people who were doing the shooting didn't care about anybody's life out there. Am I right or am I wrong? What type of training scenario would you have? You know they would call it racist if you did police training. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to walk into a football game that's been shot up by a group of black people. Would that not be racist? Do y'all really want the police to have that level of training? Let's think about all of the dumb things that these people do. These people that share DJ Just Jay's skin color. And let's run through all of these scenarios of different things that they do. Like, let's see, shooting rocket launchers at cars. They also, run up on people in McDonald's parking lots and shoot up the car 45 times. They also do things like, let's see, reach inside of people's windows and shoot at the children because they're mad at the parents and they're trying to take vengeance out on the children because they can't get to the parents. Do y'all really want me to keep going? How about we have training scenarios where we train the police to apprehend thugs and criminals and gangbangers who go shoot up a grandmother's house that have 7 children in the house and shoot it up 150 times, and it just so happened to be caught on Ring videotape haphazardly. You want the police to have that kind of training? Or option B, option number 2. How about you just point the finger at the thugs who are doing this shit and say, how about you stupid son of a bitches, stop shooting at each other? Why do you hate each other like this? These people look just like you. Why won't you have better home training? You want the police to train better. Why don't you have some better home training? Matter of fact, one thing that you would never hear from these people, why won't they point the finger at the thugs? They'll point the finger at the police. Those boys, because it wasn't girls shooting at each other. These were young men. These were boys. These boys share their DNA, share their skin color, share their heritage, share their neighborhoods. Grew up around the very similar environments. Why won't you treat those boys like your own sons and correct your boys and raise them better? But they won't do that. They won't do that, will they? They won't point the finger at the ones who are perpetrating the violence. We're just going to get mad when people try to punish criminals.
With questions about race at the forefront.
We know for a fact, had that been a field filled with white families, even if they heard a gunshot, they would not have fired up that field the way they did.
We are holding on by a thread.
Those same concerns echoed earlier in the day during a press conference of the Delaware County Black Caucus and other leaders. Why, they want to know, is DA Jack Stolzheimer taking so long to release the officers' names and at least some preliminary details?
We can't wait much longer about what this process is going to look like.
They want the police officers' names, but they don't want the thugs' names who were at the game who started shooting at people to begin with. That's insane.
You take this to Montgomery County, you take this to Chester County, trust and believe the parents would have demanded and received an answer by then. You will not treat us this way.
Y'all white people won't treat us this way, but black people, we can continue to keep treating each other like shit. How does that work? Those thugs were shooting at your kids, people that look just like you, ma'am. But you're mad at the police? You know what? At this point, I wouldn't be mad if the police would have showed up a half an hour later, showed up the next day. I really wouldn't. Why should they not? Because anytime, and I've told y'all this before, the police are going to start not showing up because every time that y'all call them and ask them to show up, you turn around and say the whole freaking thing is their fault. Am I right or am I wrong? Please, somebody in the chat, tell me if I'm wrong. You call the police and no matter what happened, it's always their fault. Nobody takes accountability for the reason that they were called in the first place.
And Brad reports the Sharon Hill Borough Council solicitor asked for patience tonight. Meanwhile,
investigation continues into Friday night's.
His name was Fanta Bility.
We're going to skip these videos. Let's go ahead and I want to show you guys the actual memorial. Not the memorial, but I think this is more or less a march, like a protest. But here's what I'm mad about. This protest should be aimed at the thugs, not at the police. That's my only problem with this. I've been asking for people that y'all should start have a rallying cry for the children. For these poor innocent children who cannot speak for themselves and they cannot defend themselves against the stuff that they're being forced into. This rally, I'm almost certain, was about justice against the police, not against the thugs who caused this.
Every day, staying prouder. We will scream black power. Say our name. Fanta Bility. What's our name? Fanta Bility. Say our name. Fanta Bility. Say her name. Fanta Bility. Say it louder. We want justice.
Demilitarize the police. Are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure that the police did not come in there with military weaponry. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely ridiculous.
They can't stop the revolution. 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 Come get me. Come fucking get me! Flag is royalty!
Do y'all see this? This is doing nothing but causing further divide between the police and the people, man. Come on. Come on. This is horrible.
Flag is royalty! Flag is royalty! Flag is royalty! Fanta Bility! Fanta Bility! Fanta Bility! Black people! We are the people! Say it louder! She was 8 years old! She was 8! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Fuck these racists!
And I want y'all to notice that they only come together like this when it has something to do with the police. But they will not do this against the thugs. None of these people out there are going to march against the crime doers, the thugs and the non-law-abiding citizens. They will not gather together like this to stand up against the real tyranny and the real oppression. Isn't that something? Please tell me when I've said something that's wrong.
Our hearts keep breaking for these babies that didn't deserve it. That didn't fucking deserve it. Breonna Taylor didn't fucking deserve it.
Trayvon Martin didn't fucking deserve it. Fanta Bility didn't fucking deserve it! Fanta should be making flower crowns for her family, but she's dead, and she won't be coming back. This state will continue to kill us, will continue to kill our people until we can kill this system.
Straight. Candle up just slightly. Candle up. There we go.
Her name. Fanta Bility. Say her name. Fanta Bility. All right. With that being said,
To be here. You're supposed to say her name. What is her name? Say her name. What is her name? Say her name.
This is ridiculous.
The hope is that we are in the middle, we are in the midst of a revolution. And if you can't see that, tonight is your wake-up call. We are in the midst of a revolution.
you're so fucking loud. We gotta show them that they can't fuck with us. Who do? Because this is a black movement, and we don't need to depend on allies. We shouldn't depend on allies.
Blood is gonna be on the ground. Tears are gonna be spilled. Lives might be lost. That's the realities of it. Sacrifices are gonna have to be made. But we're gonna get what we need. And we're gonna get it now. And we're gonna take it. I'm no longer demanding justice. We're gonna take it.
I'm gonna tell you guys, when I saw that they had a Fanta Bility memorial, I was thinking that they were going to be representing for the baby's life and saying that, you know, that they want to get justice against the people that caused it. And I'll tell you this, I thought that it was going to be an effort that was going to be a balanced message when you're talking about what precipitated this little girl losing her life and including holding the police accountable for what they did. Because one of the things, and I want y'all to make sure y'all understand me, one of the things that I learned in my Texas training class is that when you shoot your weapon, whether you're police or whether you're civilian, you are going to be held accountable. I don't have them with me right now. I think they're over here, but y'all get my point. You're held accountable for every single bullet round that leaves your weapon. If the police weaponry was the one that was responsible for taking that little girl's life, then they'll be held accountable. And I think it's just that simple. But the precipitating factor is what brought us to this point. And that's the thing that all of these people are going to continue to ignore. They're going to point the police, the finger at the police. They're going to ask for their identities. They're going to want to ruin their lives. But if we're going to do that, fine. Okay, fine. If y'all feel like that's the right course of action, fine. But why can't we also do that with the people who caused this little girl to pass away, cause all of that fighting, cause all of that shooting to begin with? Can we not have that? You know how they always say, have that same energy, right? Why can't we have that same exact energy that we have for the police when we go out marching for the police? But you notice how they went and marched for Fanta Bility when they actually were just marching because they want to take a stand against the police. That's really what they were doing. They used these stories in order to further their similar hashtag BLM Black Lives Matter movement against the police. But I want you guys to notice, just as quick as they were willing to march for Ahmaud Arbery, They're willing to march for George Floyd. They're willing to march for Breonna Taylor, to Alton Sterling, Walter L. Scott. But I want to point something out, and I want to show you guys something. How many times have y'all seen that amount of people march for Malia Davis, for Malia Bass, for Anaya Day Garrett, for Cupcake McKinney, for Orrin and Orson West, for Paris Bradley, or even the beautiful little 5-year-old girl out of Houston, Texas, Samantha Bell? How many marches, how many protests, how many memorials have they done for those children when the violence was perpetrated by people who look just like them? Zero, nothing. And all I'm saying is, if you're going to have this vitriol for the death of children, it has to be all. It has to be fair for all children. And my stance with the AFC, and we believe in advocating for children first, the children have to be put first above all of this stuff, above all of your personal feelings, against all of your personal hate for the police, against your environment or whatever it is that you are truly upset by. The children have to come first. And if you start putting the children first at home, then these children won't grow up and feel a lessened sense of worth about themselves and go out into the world and perpetrate this violence against everybody, because they don't care about themselves, so they're not going to care about anybody else. How many times do I have to say that? These boys don't give a freak about themselves, so that's why they shoot at each other like this. What are the police supposed to do walking up to a man who's firing randomly at people with a gun? There ain't much training for that. There's only one outcome. They shoot at you, you shoot back. It's simple, and everybody gets held accountable. But when are we going to ask and demand and get justice against these thugs who continue to break the law and break your hearts by shooting and killing your children? When are we going to really stand up for what's right? I love to see you guys point the finger at those thugs, release their names, and make their lives miserable. Ask for justice against that. To this beautiful little girl, let me see if I can get her face up on the screen. She seemed like a beautiful little girl, bright little girl, and wanted to grow up and become something great. At least she told us what she wanted to become, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So to Fanta Bility, young princess, R.I.P. Thank y'all for listening with an open mind and an open heart. And I do want to hear what you guys got to say about this story. So if you would, leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to click the like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, okay? Because we're going to bring many more stories just like this. Remember to put the children first. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story is actually an update. And I think this is probably the second or third time that we've spoken about this. It's a very complex story for a lot of different reasons. So what ended up happening, there was a little girl that ended up being murdered. Her biological father was held accountable and arrested. And so was her stepmother, was arrested for the murder of that beautiful little girl that y'all see right there on my screen. So I'm going to warn you guys, in this story, I'm going to say some things that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities. I'm going to give some thoughts and opinions about this story, because I think that's why most people are here, is to hear my opinion about the story, because you can get the news from anywhere. But this beautiful girl lost her life, and I'm going to tell you guys something, what I believe happened. I believe that they just had too many children, and we continue to keep procreating recklessly in this world just because we got penises and vaginas that can't stay away from plugging each other, making babies with no plan how to take care of these kids, and everybody emotionally getting upset at each other. Emotions are high, baby mama, baby daddy, baby mama drama, and all of this stuff going on. You understand what I'm saying? There's too much spiritual, emotional, physical stuff that's happening, And it's causing these children to lose their lives because we don't bring these children into this world with a plan. We call that babies for benefits. It's the only reason it seems that a lot of these people are having kids, to collect benefits from the children. Catch that? Let's get started. This woman that you see on my screen is going to be the main subject here. And she is from Mississippi, and she was convicted recently of capital murder. I want you guys to catch that. Let's back it up. That woman convicted of capital murder and the beating death of her 14-month-old stepdaughter, that beautiful baby right there on the right-hand side of the screen. And I'm sorry, y'all. I know I was crazy for making them sounds. I'm sorry. But let's get back serious for a moment, okay? We'll talk about the biological mom. We'll get back there here in a moment. Now, the stepmother, her name is Takia Beverly, which is spelled kind of odd. It's T apostrophe K-I-A, Takia, last name Beverly, not Beverly, but B-E-V-I-L-Y, who's 28 years old. We're going to talk about the biological father here in a moment. But she was convicted on, the last Friday of October 2017 in the death of Juror Smith, that beautiful baby right there, who has a very contagious, infectious, beautiful little smile, an innocent little angel. And this happened in Claiborne County, Mississippi. Now, according to the news, jurors returned their verdict after hearing 5 days of testimony. Beverly is married to Juror's father, who is 30-year-old Morris Beverly IV, which is, let me see if I can go back. That's the biological father. That is 30-year-old Morris Beverly IV. The couple was taking care of Juror when she died on October the 22nd of 2017. So that's how long ago this story happened. And I guess that's how long we've been doing news stories on these babies. Her death was later ruled a homicide due to multiple blunt force traumas to her head. She was beat to death. According to the police, Juror was found dead by her mother by the name of Deidreana, I'm sorry. Got these unique names. That's the biological mother, Deidreana Smith, when she came to pick her baby up. I could not be prouder of my prosecution team, which brought Juror's murderer to justice, according to District Attorney Daniela Shorter, who told the news after the verdict. Now Juror's family can finally have some peace, knowing that Takia Beverly will be in the custody of the Mississippi Department of Corrections. With Beverly convicted, prosecutors are now turning their attention to the girl's father, Morris Beverly, whose trial was going to begin on that Monday. He is also charged with capital murder. He has pleaded not guilty, and he also faces trial. So I have to give you guys an update on that. Deidreana Smith, the biological mother, released a statement after the verdict, thanking prosecutors and saying that her family will now begin the healing process. Knowing that the person responsible for the homicide of my precious Juror is now being held accountable for their actions, bring a feeling of relief over my whole family. She continued by saying, receiving the guilty verdict is only the start of the healing process for my family, our friends, loved ones, and myself. We're grateful for the outcome, and we're hopeful for the peaceful closure that this process has brought. Are you guys ready for the update? Why are we here today? Because some of you guys have already heard that portion. Well, even though she was convicted of capital murder, the woman that you see on the right-hand side of the screen right there, Takia Beverly, is out of prison. A lot of you guys might be wondering, how the hell does that happen? Out of prison on a capital murder charge? Really? That's the type of stuff that people get put to death for. Sit on death row for years for. How does that happen? Here's the story. And that's actually one of the thumbnails from a video that I did, so you guys can look those videos up on the channel at a later point. Let's talk about this. A woman who was convicted of capital murder, and this was as of October the 6th, so this was only 6 days ago. She was convicted of capital murder in connection to the death of her 14-month-old stepdaughter. She has been released from prison. Takia Beverly was released on a $1 million bond. She is now awaiting a new trial. You would have to ask, first of all, how did she get out of jail? Why did she get out of jail? And how did she get a $1 million bond? And how did she get out on a $1 million bond? Well, DJ Just Jay tends to take some screenshots. So let me show you guys this beautiful little thing that's called GoFundMe that these people had the wherewithal to use to collect funding for legal defense for Takia Beverly. Now, I don't know if they were able to collect $1 million, but all I know is that, and this is actually a little bit of an older screenshot, but they were actually able to collect enough money, apparently, to get her released on $1 million bond. That is just something that's not normal. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to collect the funds. If you get it, then you get it. But I'm just saying $1 million is $1 million damn dollars. Her family called this a small victory in a fight that is far from over. I believe that Juror and Takia both deserve justice, and I'm going to make sure that they receive it, according to Beverly's brother by the name of Christopher Smith, which you're going to see him in the interview. He continued, "We're honestly ecstatic and thankful for the fact that Takia Beverly has been brought home after being wrongfully convicted and imprisoned for 8 months. Some of that is partially incorrect, but we'll get back to it. We're thoroughly dissatisfied with the black stain that the justice system now has regarding Takia Beverly, and we're ready to fight and prepare for her to never have to see the inside of a prison again." Sorry, I read that wrong. According to her mother, Beverly has suffered being separated from her children, because of course she had children outside of this little girl. And she had children that were actually close to Juror's age. Very close to Juror's age, which we'll get to that here in a minute. They're very happy to be back with her, and it took a toll on Takia as far as being away from her kids overall. She was a trooper, she stood strong, and she kept the faith, and she's home. But I want y'all to remember this. She's only out on bail because she's getting a new trial. Not that she didn't do it, it's just that she's getting a new trial. And we'll get to that here in a minute. Beverly was granted a new trial in September 2021 this year because one of the jurors failed to disclose that he is related to Juror Smith's mother. This whole thing fell apart because some idiot juror decided to lie, which could be perjury, which I think that they should actually face, 25 years in prison for lying about something like that, because you could have got this woman sent to jail for life, potentially the death penalty. I think you should get 25 years in prison for lying. It's that damn serious. I don't like stuff like that. I really don't like stuff like that. But they lied, and they didn't say that they were actually related to the mother's side, the biological mother's side. Beverly's brother believes that she will be exonerated after the new trial, which I hope not. Takia's indictment was based on lies as well as her conviction. So regardless of if she was found guilty with that jury, there was no evidence against her, which is a lie. That's actually a lie. They do have evidence against her. They're going to have to represent it all. Smith said that the lack of evidence caused Claiborne County District Attorney to create a negative narrative about Beverly, which led to her conviction. They tried to build this narrative, this false narrative against her, as this quote-unquote evil stepmother when that's the furthest thing from the truth, which I'm actually going to dispute that. If y'all want to hear my video about it, I'll let you hear it. Takia went above and beyond for Juror, and she even went above and beyond for anyone that has met her, as well as the biological mother. So there was no hate or jealousy in Takia's heart, and there still isn't any today. Her new trial has been scheduled for spring of 2022. The terms of her bond include Beverly being under house arrest, restrictions from leaving Warren County, and she cannot leave her home from the hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. except for verified employment. Very, very complicated story. But let me give you guys the fair usage, and then I will show you my video. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And if you guys would, if you're watching this video, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. What it helps do is it helps share this story. If you're on Jakia's side, then or let me see, Takia, I'm sorry, I said her name wrong. If you're on Takia's side, then I want you guys to speak your opinion. If you're on the side of the biological mother and Juror and that side of the family and believe that both the biological dad and the stepmom should be held fully accountable, then I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section. We got a couple videos that I want to show you guys. But give your thoughts and opinions, and please click that thumbs up.
We thank God for that, and everybody for that. My mom, my dad, the entire family has worked tirelessly to make sure my sister is completely exonerated, and we're not stopping.
That has been the family's rallying cry and response since hearing the news of 28-year-old Takia Beverly getting a new trial following her conviction. Beverly was sentenced to life without parole following the death of her 14-month-old stepdaughter, Juror Smith, in October 2017. Following a request by Beverly's attorney, a new trial has been granted after finding traces of juror misconduct. According to court documents, members of the jury were related to the victim's family. The family says that their fight goes much further than just a trial, but also getting justice for both Beverly and Juror.
We want true justice for Juror, and we want justice for Takia. We want Takia to be completely exonerated from the accusations that's been against her, the wrongful accusations against her. We want Juror to be receiving the justice that she deserved.
Beverly's brother says the behind-the-scenes work was also a pivotal part of getting a new trial. The work being done through what he calls the Dream Team.
On I Stand With Kia and all of the public platforms, we've pushed and fought, and we've won day after day and night after night in the justice for Takia Beverly and Juror Smith.
As the family awaits for that new trial, they say they will continuously fight for their daughter to come home.
My biggest thing is her being reinstated on the $1 million bond and coming back home and being with her family that so deeply miss her.
Kara Peters, 16 WAPT News.
Here's the thing. I have somebody in the chat who's saying that Juror's family has stated that the juror is not related to her or Deidreana. Who knows, man? Here's what I think. I think whatever happened with that, I just think they need to be held accountable, get them out of there, get a new trial. But like I said, it shouldn't have came to this point and just do it all over again. They clearly had evidence to convict her anyway. But like I said, this just further slows down the process of getting justice.
Now to Claiborne County, where a judge issued a gag order in the case of a woman accused of killing her 14-month-old stepdaughter. A hearing was held today requesting a new trial for Takia Beverly, who was sentenced to life without parole after being convicted of capital murder in the October 2017 death of Juror Smith. The baby's father, Morris Beverly, was also charged with murder. His trial has been postponed. According to Beverly's attorney, Judge Tamika Harris is not at liberty to tell news outlets anything further at this time. Now to a story that we've been following since the beginning. A 14-month-old is found dead in Port Gibson. Now, almost 2 years later, the child's father and stepmother are being blamed. WJTV 12's Katie Rose spoke with the little girl's mother.
The father and stepmother of the 14-month-old little girl who was killed back in 2017 have now been charged in her death. I spoke with the little girl's mother, who's been searching for answers for nearly 2 years. October 22nd, 2017, the day is still fresh in Deidreana Smith's mind. The day she lost her little girl.
That's all I could do was fall to the floor and cry, because I'm like, my daughter is dead. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think.
Juror was just 14 months old when she was found dead in a crib at her father's house.
And she was on her back, and her eyes were closed, and her mouth was closed. Her lips were kind of like a greenish color. You could tell she had been there for a long time, and she was cold.
Autopsy results showed Juror died from multiple blunt force trauma to the head. The little girl's father, Morris Beverly, and his wife, Takia, are both charged with capital murder.
That's step one, but it's a process. I feel like we got to go to court, we got to go this, we got to do that. There's a lot to happen between now and then.
Although it's been a long road to get here, Deidreana has one thing keeping her focused.
My daughter. She asks about her sister every day, and I tell her she's in heaven, but she still asks, Mama, where's Juror? Mom, I want Juror. So that's what's fueling me, too. We miss her. We both miss her. Everybody misses her.
The Claiborne County Sheriff tells me a hearing will be held sometime between now and next week. For now, in Port Gibson, Katie Rowe, WJTV 12.
Murder after the death of her 14-month-old stepdaughter is now home on bail. Takia Beverly was released on a $1 million bond and is awaiting a new trial. 12 News' Anthony Howard spoke exclusively with Beverly's family about her case. Anthony?
The family is calling this a small victory in a fight that's far from over. I spoke with Takia Beverly's mom and brother about what's next for the daughter and sister and their expectations for the upcoming trial.
I believe that Juror and Takia both deserve justice, and I'm going to make sure they receive it.
After a conviction and 8 months in prison, Christopher Smith maintains his belief that his sister is innocent.
We're honestly ecstatic and thankful for the fact that Takia Beverly has been brought home after being wrongfully convicted and in prison, unfortunately, for 8 months. We're thoroughly dissatisfied with the black stain that the justice system now has regarding Takia Beverly, and we're ready to fight and prepare for her to never have to see the inside of a prison again.
Beverly's mother says the accused has suffered being separated from her children.
They're very happy to be back with her. It took a toll on Takia as far as being away from her kids, but overall she was a trooper. She stood strong and she kept the faith, and she's home.
Takia Beverly's conviction was overturned due to jury misconduct, and her brother feels after new findings and a fair trial, his sister will be exonerated.
Takia's indictment was based on lies, as well as her conviction. So Takia, regardless if she was found guilty with that jury, there was no evidence against her.
Smith says the lack of evidence caused the Claiborne County District Attorney to create a negative narrative about Beverly, which ultimately led to her conviction.
This man is saying that they had zero evidence. Do y'all hear this? Look. If you're going to defend somebody, you should defend the facts. Not just flat out just say, screw everything. Like, there are just some things like you have to acknowledge when there is some level of accountability in there. Like, you have to take some accountability. You are not 100% innocent. Do y'all understand that? It just means that it's a mistrial. You cannot convict somebody and you cannot be on the jury staff if you are related, which means you have a vested interest in one side or the other, which means you're going to have a biased opinion. Very simple. That's very simple. That doesn't mean that, see, I told y'all she was innocent. Because somebody didn't say that they were related, that means that she's innocent? No, that's not what that means, fool. That's not what that means. Can't be that level of dumb. Come on, bro. It just means that she's going to be out of prison for at least another year by next spring. And then she's going to be right back to where she needs to be. But again, we have to prove by way of evidence, right? So not only are they going to represent the evidence that they have, because that's not going to be double jeopardy, because it was a mistrial, so they just have to represent it. They just have to go back through the process. But I'm also show you the motive. Don't y'all want to know the motive? How many of y'all out there who are listening to the sound of my voice want to know why she did it. They had evidence to show that she did some things to this baby as well as the biological father. But nobody really answered what was the motivation. Why? What was the motive? Do y'all want to hear the motive? Let me play one more video and I'll get to it. I'll show you guys my original video.
They tried to build this narrative, this false narrative against Takia as this quote-unquote evil stepmother, when that's the furthest thing from the truth. Takia went above and beyond for Juriah, and she's went above and beyond for anyone that has met her, as well as the biological mother. So there's no jealousy, no hate in Takia's heart, and there's still not any today.
Beverly's trial date has been scheduled for spring 2022. The term of the bond has placed Beverly under house arrest, restricting her from leaving Warren County, and she's not allowed to leave her home from the hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. with an exception of verified employment. Back to you.
Now, you guys are going to actually be able to watch a little bit of an older video of mine on this story, but I'm going to just kick back and let it play, and I want y'all to remember. You say you would like to know the motive? So here we go. This is a video that I recorded, which is a short clip, and I explain what the motive was. So guys, check this out. Actually, do y'all want me to make this bigger on the screen? I think that might be a little small. I want to make sure that you guys can see this. I'm going to let it play. We'll make it bigger on the screen. I'm going to actually tell. Here we go. Let me do like this. Well, here we go. Let's let it play. I'm going to actually tell you guys what my theory is on why this happened here right after these videos.
And first this half hour, a stepmother is found guilty in the murder of a 14-month-old girl. A Claiborne County jury found Takia Beverly, seen here on the left, guilty of capital murder. Beverly's the stepmother of 14-month-old Juriah Smith, who was found dead October of 2017. Evidence at the trial shows Juriah died from, quote, blunt force trauma to her head. Now, Smith's father, Morris Beverly, is also charged with capital murder. His trial will start on Monday.
Now, I want to show you guys a couple of videos real quick. And I'm going to be very fair, so I hope the family can at least appreciate this part about me, is I can understand when some things might seem like they're not what they really are. Maybe this woman really was innocent. Maybe this dad was really innocent. I will show you guys two videos. These fall under fair use, but I'm going to show y'all two videos. These are really short videos of the dad, the baby, and the mom interacting with each other. And I thought these were really good videos. But to kind of show her character. But again, I want y'all to remember that anybody can snap at any point in time. But let me show y'all these videos. So these are going to be just a couple of interactions. And just tell me what you guys truly think. Do these videos sway your opinion? Do they make you think different? Let's take a look. Again, this is the dad, the little baby, and the stepmom.
Baby? Where's baby?
I guess.
Yeah. Aubrey? Say Aubrey? Billy, turn it off.
Let's watch this one again. And I'm going to see, my mind works in a very weird way. This looks like a very nice, sweet, innocent video, and I think it is. But I see a lot more than most people do. Let me see if some of y'all see something different than what I see.
Baby? Where's baby?
I guess.
Yeah. Aubrey? Is it Aubrey? Delete. Turn it off.
Beautiful video. It looked like a beautiful family, right? Let me show the next video. And then I'll give y'all my thoughts. Let me show y'all this again. Nobody said it yet. Y'all are giving some interesting answers. But yeah, this is why I think I'm just a little bit different. Let me go back to this video. I'm surprised some of y'all didn't catch this. No, everything that y'all are saying, I think it's very innocent. I think it's funny. I think they're having a family moment. All that is normal. But let me show y'all what I see. This is the mind of DJ Just Jay. Are y'all ready for this? Here we go. Watch this again. It's actually something very rudimentary. That's the biological dad. That's the stepmom. The baby that passed away is right there crawling over. And apparently they already had the little baby. It's a very sweet video.
Baby? Where's baby?
And by the way, I just noticed something. I actually used the word rudimentary correctly in that case. I think I got lucky. And it said involving or limited to basic principles. I can't believe I knew that big old word and used it in its correct context. Thought I'd throw that out there real quick. So I did say it correctly. It's actually something very rudimentary. That's the biological dad. That's the stepmom. The baby that passed away is right there crawling over. And apparently they already had the little baby. It's a very sweet video.
Baby? Where's baby? Yeah. Aubrey? Is it Aubrey? Delete. Turn it off.
I'm going to play it one more time. Y'all still haven't got it yet. Some of y'all in my current chat actually did get it correct.
Where's baby? Yeah. Aubrey? Is it Aubrey?
All right. Okay. I'll kill the suspense. No pun intended. Here we go. Did y'all not notice how they have a brand new baby and a 14-month-old baby? She could have even been 10 months, 9 months old. Y'all didn't pay no attention to that? 2 babies. Let's talk about motive. No, y'all got it wrong. Y'all got it wrong. I'm going to just tell you. Here's the motive. That little girl is extremely young. So I want y'all to think, if it takes 9 months to make a baby, 14, 13, let me see, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Then, maybe a month prior. So that means that little girl was 4 months old. I want y'all to keep in mind that they are married. The gestation period of a woman's body is about 14 days from the time that you sleep with her. So tack on another month potentially. So if they're, and I want y'all to think about this, they said that they're married. Hashtag not my words. So if they're married, then that means they would at least had to been together a little while before they got married, which means that he cheated on his wife. Ooh. Come on, y'all didn't think about that? Nobody figured that out? Huh. Somebody said I should be a detective. Thank you. I just take that as a compliment. The girl represents the other woman. Thank you. Let me take a bow. Wow. Tell me I didn't blow some of y'all socks off just by watching that video. Huh? What's the best way to get back in her head to his baby mom who he cheated on her with? To hurt her baby. And here's what I can tell y'all in my opinion. I don't believe that woman intended to hurt and kill the baby. I just believe she intended to rough her up a little bit. And it went horribly wrong. Here's my scenario as I give y'all my closing thoughts about this story. So I want y'all to think about this logically. There could have potentially been an argument with the dad and the stepmom. Why? Over this situation that he caused. His reckless dick, his reckless penis habits. He had to have him some wet vagina. Huh? Either with his wife or girlfriend, whatever she was at the time. Maybe they were just dating, but they eventually got married. So how long have they been married if this baby is only 14 months old? Huh? But you know what? It's very easy to look up somebody's marriage records, is it not? So we can easily find out how long they've been married, when did they get married, and then just take your guesses as to how long they were probably dating. I say 1 year marriage, 1 year dating. 2 years, 24 months. That baby is 14 months old. Am I on point? Did I show you guys something that from this video that y'all didn't catch at first? Because the first thing I thought, here's how I caught it. I said, damn, that's a baby crawling over to another baby, and that man didn't have that baby with that woman. But he's got a brand new baby laying on his chest, but yet the baby mom of that baby, like, huh? That's too close. Thank you. You said I'm most definitely on point. Thank you. I appreciate that. They could have gotten into an argument, but I want y'all to think about this. They probably had a lot to argue about. Let me throw a couple of scenarios out there for you if y'all don't mind. Let me move this down so y'all can see the live chat. I'm going to throw a couple of scenarios. What are some scenarios that people could argue over if they're married and a man has a baby outside of his wife? Y'all ready for this? STDs are a possibility because the mom of that kid isn't with this man exclusively. So there's a possibility that whoever she was sleeping with could have passed something to this man, and this man would have passed it to that woman. STDs and cheating are a very real possibility. Number two, you had a child. Just seeing that other child there would make this woman feel some kind of way. It will let her know that her man is not exclusive. He's community penis. That cannot feel good knowing that this man put a ring on your finger, but you got a remnant of another woman that he was with outside of you. Third thing, child support. Thank you. Child support. And let me explain to y'all the way that child support works. If this man is worth any level of salt, he has a job. He has some type of verifiable income, some type of viable way that he's able to make a living. So if he works, which I believe he was working, if he's any type of a man, he's creating some type of income to take care of his kids, then that means child support is coming out of his check. Let me explain to y'all the way that this works. When you get married, and if you're on child support, not only will they come after the biological father, but whomever you marry, they can come after you legally because they see you as a single entity. So that means just as easily as they can come after his check, they can come after the stepmom's check because they're married. How many of y'all knew that? Is that not something to be pissed off about? Knowing that your paychecks is about to come short because of his bad choices? Huh? How many of y'all thought about this? Last thing, when I talk about emotional, just like I call her brother emotional, how about the fact that if a woman uses her emotional side, maybe this woman just got a bit emotional and that she just had a baby. And I want y'all to think about this. If y'all want to always use postpartum depression as an excuse, well, she just had a brand new baby. Instead of her killing her own baby, she killed someone else's baby due to her rise in emotions. And like I said, postpartum depression is no excuse for murder. Your mental condition is no excuse for murder. So do I believe that they got it right in this case? Yes, I do, for the things that I just presented to you guys. And I had no idea I was going to come back and need this video to explain this. And let me say this again about mental illness, because I've told y'all I've been saying this for a very, very long time. Let's hear it again. They can come after you legally because they see you as... Huh? How many of y'all thought about this? Last thing, when I talk about emotional, just like I call her brother emotional, how about the fact that if a woman uses her emotional side, maybe this woman just got a bit emotional and that she just had a baby. And I want y'all to think about this. If y'all want to always use postpartum depression as an excuse, well, she just had a brand new baby. Instead of her killing her own baby, she killed someone else's baby due to her rise in emotions. And like I said, postpartum depression is no excuse for murder. Your mental condition is no excuse for murder. So do I believe that they got it right in this case? Yes, I do, for the things that I just presented to you guys. Wow. That is a hell of a video, and I'm glad that I had that saved. And I hope that you guys were able to kind of hear my perspective. I'm not sure how many people agree. I'm not sure how many people who are on the side of justice for Takia. And I want y'all to remember, just because she's out on $1 million bail, that's not something that's normal for somebody to collect that level of money and that level of support. That's not a normal thing, especially if you aren't an affluent person yourself. Y'all could look at that apartment that I just showed. They were not living, high class or even really middle class. They looked like they were probably lower middle class, so to say. And not to disrespect them, I'm just saying they definitely didn't have the means to be able to amass that type of money between their family. That came from a lot of public support. And I just really don't understand how you wanted to defend a person that clearly was emotional for a lot of different reasons, regardless of whether it was valid or not, but in some shape, form, or fashion participated in the death of that beautiful little angel that you see on my screen right there, because she chose to deal with a dude who apparently understood that his penis was community dick. And he sitting there passing that thing around and ended up with a baby that he didn't want to have on his wife. And clearly that put a huge strain on their relationship. And the fact that reminder was around them while she had her new baby and interacting with her baby and stuff like that. All I'm saying is it's a very dangerous game to play. I think the biological father caused all of this. But that does not make the stepmother exempt from the role that she played by letting her emotions run her. They ran her, she participated, and I believe that she will be fully held accountable justly as long as the jury don't lie to the judge like they did in this case. That's all that happened, is that the jury lied. Simple as that. They should have been upfront and honest, and they would not have been allowed to participate in that jury panel. But I think they're going to, again, represent the information, and I think we are going to get the proper justice, which is for her to get the capital punishment, capital murder, for what she did to this baby. This baby couldn't speak for herself, nor could she defend herself against the tyranny that she was put in by her biological mother and her stepmother, and the fact that if the biological mother, and I'm not going to let her get away out of this either. We got plenty of court documents. If y'all want to go look that up, we have somebody in the chat who says that they have information. Y'all go look up the documents on Juror's Army on Facebook. Go check that out, because I'm actually on that page, and I thank them for sharing this video and sharing this live so more of you guys can participate in this conversation. All they're going to do is just represent this information. That's it. She's going to be held accountable, and they would have just wasted all of this money, this $1 million, and getting her out of jail really for an unjust cause. At the end of the day, this baby's death was horrible. She suffered immensely, and she did not deserve what she got. That baby deserved to grow up and become something great. And again, what I was about to say about the biological mother is the fact that she knew that this man was married. And this biological mother did what a lot of women do, and it's not all women, and I know we got a lot of good women out there, and it don't apply to all women, but smart people understand. I ain't talking about all women. But a lot of them want a man that other women want. In this case, it was a married man. It's not uncommon for a married man to be wanted by women who don't have a man. And she had the baby, and that man had a baby on his wife. And ultimately, they took their hurt and anger out on that baby. And that baby is a beautiful little girl. She deserves justice. And even though I might not like the fact that the biological mother had this kid while this man was married, it still doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve her justice, because she does. That woman right there deserves her justice for her baby. Beautiful little girl, Juror Smith, young princess again. R.I.P. Beautiful little baby. Thank y'all so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart. To all of those people that believe in #justice for Takia, I want to see from you guys. I want to hear from y'all in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments down there. Not going to block you. Speak your mind. And also want to give another shout out to Justice for Juror. Make sure you check out Juror's Army on Facebook at facebook.com/Juror's Army. Make sure you guys check that out, okay? See y'all on the next stream. Peace. Justice for Juriah's Army. Make sure y'all follow on Facebook, okay? You guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys on the next stream, okay? Peace.
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses, like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-size masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.
Check out this wonderful organization that I'm proud to be a part of. It's called Bags for Kids, BAGS4KIDS.org. And check out their website. They really help a lot of kids in foster care, giving them a permanent piece of luggage and also a lot of items that they might need so that they feel that they belong, which they do. So go to the website, bags4kids.org. So go for it. It's a great place, and they're doing great work.
Exclusive new products that you will only see on my website at www.sayitwithchess.com. These products are made special by my mother, Keyline Designs. The hoodie blankie, the face mask, as well as the 4-in-1 African head wrap. Now the way it works, it is a reversible bonnet. It has a headband that you can wear alone. It has a matching face mask as well. Please be sure to go over to our website and check out these nice new products that you will not find anywhere else.